Hello and welcome to Condition Nerdcast episode 5.
We're here today. We're going to talk about some Marvel Cinematic Universe-ness. I mean, it is quite epic, and Guardians of the Galaxy just came out.
Which was amazing.
Honestly, I would say that it ranks up next to Iron Man for how much fun I had and how enjoyable it was at the movie theater. I was... You know, when they first announced it, I was like, I don't know any of these people. What is this going on? I had never read any of the comics. I hadn't,
I feel like this is how most people felt. People I don't
know what this is. Right. But they started releasing trailers really early, and initially that made me really worried. Because, you know, when you advertise something 6 months in advance of it coming out, it's because you want people to know about it because you're worried it's going to fail.
Right.
Marvel hasn't had any missteps, and I was very concerned that Guardians was going to be their first misstep. Not a complete misstep, but, it was going to be kind of
failed experiment.
Yeah, it was going to end up being Thor: The Dark World, which didn't do as well as one would have hoped, given the amount of muscles that Thor has. I went to see it because I wanted to see Thor.
Right.
Most people didn't go to see it to see Thor.
Right. I went to see it just to continue the whole
right.
story.
So maybe people would go to Guardians of the Galaxy just because Guardians was another installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, it's doing extremely well, obviously.
But that being said, no, I think the point that I was trying to make is I really wanted it to do well. Mm-hmm. And then a week before it came out, you pulled me aside and you're like, IGN just gave it a 9.3. Right. And I let out a shout of excitement because I really, really badly wanted it to do well because all the commercials had made me, smile, and the initial commercials made it feel kind of campy, and then the trailers later on made it seem more serious, and I started feeling better about it the closer we got.
Yeah, and looking back now, serious is how you would describe this movie in any way?
No, but they went from really super campy commercials to more about the fighting and they went from funny commercials to not serious, but more dramatic, cinematic and dramatic commercials, which I think was helpful for those people who were on the fence. But yes, so you let me know that IGN had given it a 9.3, and I just lost my shit. Mm-hmm. I was like, wah! Oh my god, I can't wait. And then I fell into the trap of, wait, are my expectations going to be too high now and I'm going to be disappointed? So I had to pull myself back as we went to the movies to go see it. I was like, okay, I have no preconceived notions. I have seen the trailers. I have not read any of the comic books. I don't know anything about these characters. I just want this to be a roller coaster ride of fun. And they delivered that.
Yeah, they delivered.
They delivered that. It was
so funny.
Just funny, well cast, well acted, great, expansion of the galaxy beyond Earth's little bubble of stuff.
You know how I like to describe it, and I was telling people who aren't big comic book or really not big into the whole superhero thing. I felt like Avengers, and don't get me wrong, I loved Avengers. Great movie.
Yeah,
fantastic. But I felt like if you would have skipped Captain America, if you would have skipped Iron Man, Hulk, which you probably should skip Hulk. You would have went into the Avengers and be like, okay, I get it, but you felt like something's missing. Where does this all begin?
Yeah.
And with Guardians of the Galaxy, I was so glad they didn't make a standalone movie for each character. It wasn't required.
It wasn't necessary. And I want to say right now, because we're now, I don't know, 5-10 minutes into this, that this is going to contain spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy, both the movie and probably a little bit of the comic book. Mm-hmm. Just heads up, there will be spoilers. So now you've heard us say how much we enjoyed it, but if you haven't seen it yet, get your butt in a movie theater and stop listening to this.
Yeah, there's no excuse. You should go see this movie.
Yeah.
No.
So, anyway.
So yeah, so I felt like you could not know anything about the characters, never read a comic book, never have seen Avengers, Iron Man, none of those movies.
Because it wasn't necessary. Because it did not follow the arc of the Avengers.
Well, right. The only similarity there is Thanos.
Yes, and the Collector.
And they talk about the Infinity Gems, stones, depending on how you want to look at it. But that was it. But, even then you just wouldn't feel like, oh, I should have watched this first.
Right.
You might have that need of, well, now I kind of want to watch the Avengers and all the other movies just to see exactly what's going on.
Correct. I think they took from source material that was already very rich, and they did a great job with the casting of the characters, because each character is so unique. So unique. Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, I now don't think I could see anyone else in that role.
Right.
Because he's funny.
He's the Robert Downey Jr. of that role. Like, Robert Downey Jr. is
So
Tony Stark.
Yes. Forever and ever.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what happens. He will always be what I picture in my mind. Because the scene where in Iron Man, where he's like, I am Iron Man.
Yeah, like that was...
Which, by the way, I read something recently saying that was not actually in the original script, and apparently Joss was like, let's just do a take where you say, I am Iron Man, and see what happens. And then they realized, this is genius.
Wow.
And they used it. I don't know where I read that, but yeah, I was like, that's awesome. But yes, so Chris Pratt was perfect for this role. I read an article with him recently, or an interview with him recently, and he, in real life, sounds like he is Star-Lord.
Really?
Yeah. Like, he likes hanging out in bars and staying up late and, eating inappropriate things. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I don't think he's a womanizer like Star-Lord is. He's not going to forget that some girl is on his ship and take her on
well, hopefully he has
a mission, but...
Hopefully he has really good taste in the soundtrack, because that was the other amazing thing about this movie.
Yes! So, the soundtrack of the movie is phenomenal. I mean, everyone heard most of it just from the trailers alone, but it never seemed in the movie that it was forced.
Right.
Because, so if you haven't seen the movie, we're going to share this
Once
with
again,
you.
Stop listening and go watch it now.
So he has his mixtape
Awesome Mixtape.
Awesome Mixtape Volume 1, which was given to him by his mom. And it's literally all he listens to. And when they were filming the movie, James Gunn put together Awesome Mixtape number 1 for Chris Pratt. And literally that was all Chris Pratt listened to for the entire filming of the movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Was Awesome Mixtape number 1. So the fact that he sort of internalized that music as the soundtrack of his life while he was doing it, where it was very meta of him, because that is the soundtrack for Peter Quill's life, is this, like... soundtrack of music of the 70s and 80s that just sort of...
So damn good.
It was great. It was really great. And I'm looking forward to...
Well, yeah, I'm not looking to see what they're going to do. So they obviously they talk about the Infinity Gems in there, and I forgot where I read it. So obviously the stone in this one is one of the Infinity Gems. The Tesseract is another Infinity Gem.
Yes, which we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy. They made it very clear in Guardians that the Tesseract is an Infinity Gem.
Now, the other one where I read was, what is it, the Ether from,
This I don't know.
Thor 2? Remember when she goes inside like that liquid?
Oh, yeah.
They're saying rumors, I'm not sure if it's a rumor or if it's a fact, that is also considered an Infinity Gem.
Fascinating.
And I could have sworn there was one more that they mentioned was Infinity Gem. So apparently 4 out of the 6 of them have been found.
Oh.
It is interesting now that the Nova Corps has one of the gems.
Yes.
So obviously, if you've read the comics and you know what this is all leading up to, which is my favorite storyline, Infinity Gauntlet. So it has Thanos trying to get all the gems together.
Which he was already trying to do in this one.
Right, which he's trying to do in this one. But in the comic, he doesn't go through Nova Corps, and, he kind of just gets them himself.
You mean through Ronan, using an intermediary?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So he acquires in that way. So I don't know what they're going to do now. Is he going to acquire most of them and then show up and fight? Like, I'm curious to know will he get all of them together? Like that?
I think he has to, because that's Avengers Phase 3.
Right?
We have Age of Ultron this year or next summer.
Right.
May, I believe, May 1st, 2015.
2015.
Yeah. But then we have, after that, then we're in Phase 3, and...
Right. I mean, is Ant-Man
Phase 3.
Phase 3? So he put back. He was supposed to be Phase 2.
But that's where
everyone's concerned about Ant-Man. But yeah, I'm going to be highly disappointed if at one point we don't see Thanos with all 6 gems.
Yes, I think everyone will be disappointed. Therefore, I believe that Thanos will get all 6 gems.
Right. Like I said, it's just...
Okay, maybe...
Or is it going to be like he has
those...
5 of them, and he has to get the last one, and he gets stopped from getting the last... Like, I want him to acquire all of them. There's that scene in the comic book where he's in
Maybe
space.
You should explain what the Infinity Gauntlet is to those people who may not know. No.
You should know, and you should go read the damn comic, and I shouldn't have to explain
Unless you're like me and we're forced to read the comic, and it's way too outdated, and it's like the old school style of comic books does not appeal to me.
When you say old school, you mean amazing style of comic?
Classic.
Yeah. Okay. So there are 6 gems. Each gem controls something differently. You have the green gem, which is the soul gem. You have the orange gem, which is time. Purple, which is space. Blue, which is mind. Yellow, which is reality. Red, which is power. So he combines all the gems and he attaches them to his gauntlet, if you will. And he becomes more powerful than a god. Which sounds odd because you figure a god is all-powerful. But yes, he becomes the most powerful thing.
There's different levels of gods, because some people would say that Thor's a god.
Well, yes, I would disagree. But yes, Thor is a god. But he becomes more powerful than anything that has ever existed.
Yes.
And he takes on the whole Marvel Universe. And kicks ass.
All hell breaks loose.
Yes. But there's this iconic scene where he's just standing there. And now I say iconic, and then I'm not going to get it the quote correct, but I believe he says something like "Come and get me" or "Bring it on," and he just has the glove, and the whole Marvel universe is going after him. And of course, just like any great story in history, not that this is historic, but this is all being done for a woman.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Religion and women. Just bad things in this world.
Well, the whole Troy thing was for a woman.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. So he's doing all of this for the love of death, which is represented as a woman.
Which you're most excited to see how they're gonna if they're gonna put death into the movies.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I mean, if you go back, a lot of people didn't get it, but if you go back to the end of Avengers, after credits, when you show, the guy going over and speaking to someone, you don't know who it is, and he talks about how we underestimated Earth and the powers that they have, and to challenge them is to court death. And then you finally see Thanos for the first time, and he smiles.
That's not after Avengers. After Avengers was Shawarma.
Shawarma! Right, so this was
after Thor.
That was after Thor? No. I don't believe that. No, it was after Avengers. I believe that the Avengers had an after credit.
All right, now we're getting our after credits mixed up.
Yes.
But I do remember that scene.
Yes, I believe it was Avengers. Someone will correct us out there. Yeah. So, to challenge him is to court death, and Thanos smiles. So anybody who's read the comics knows that, once again, that is exactly what Thanos wants. He's trying to court death. So I'm curious to see, are we going to see Death as a robed skeleton, which I would be disappointed if that's the first time we see Death?
Yeah.
Or is this beautiful, like, porcelain-faced woman in these black robe first? So everyone's like, who the hell is that?
We'll see how they play it out, because I feel like not everything from the comic book is going to end up in the movie, and I feel like that is they've already done their nod to Lady Death, but they don't. He can just be a megalomaniac who is after power and wants to control everything.
No, horrible movie. Don't do that. Do not listen to her.
I'm just saying that is an option.
No, it's pointless if it doesn't involve Death. That is the whole reason he's getting the gems, because he figures if he kills everyone off, Death will finally love him. He's doing this for her.
And it's the most twisted love story of all time.
Yeah.
That is the crux of this,
or
ladies
romantic.
And gentlemen.
It could be the most romantic love story. There are some people out there that would just find that truly romantic.
I am not one of them.
Okay.
But anyway.
So yes, they have to do that. They're not going to change that. It's just, like, obviously in the comic book you have people like Spider-Man there, and will he show up? Probably not.
Probably not.
As in 100% not. I'm curious to know what's going to happen come Phase 3 of this whole thing.
Well,
imagine the panel of the Avengers.
Oh, at Comic-Con. Yeah, for sure. You're like, oh my god, how many people can we fit on the stage at Hall H?
I don't.
Well, let's make 2 tiers. Like, they're going to have to do stadium-style seating because there's going to be too many people who need to be on the panel. Especially since the next phase will include Ant-Man and Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
So, obviously, they are gearing up, and it's more than just a fight on Earth. It will be a fight across the galaxy.
Right. Well, I'm seeing the other thing in the comic books. There's a character named Warlock who plays a huge part in the Infinity storyline, and he actually showed up in Guardians.
Really?
Yes. They're in the Collector's ship. There's a cocoon in that ship.
I read something about this, but I did not catch the reference because I really haven't paid that much attention to the comics. You have read the source material.
Yes.
I have skimmed.
Right.
And not really interpreted the source material.
Right. So that was Warlock's cocoon. Does that mean he'll show up? I don't know. I wonder if they're going to replace Warlock in the comic books and instead have Doctor Strange play the kind of bigger role there.
Probably. Just because there's going to come a point where people are going to stop being able to take on new characters, and it will become too unwieldy. The movie will end up having to be like 4 hours, or they'll pull Peter Jackson and split it into like 6 parts because...
Yeah, well, you say that, but this movie's already... I mean, if everything is leading up to the end of the Infinity Gauntlet, this is... What are we talking about here? A 25-part movie series?
Well, yeah, but...
See, naturally, I'm curious. Is that the end game? Is the end game to this whole thing Infinity Gauntlet? Like, is that how Phase 3 ends?
Yes.
With them defeating Thanos?
Yes.
This is the most ambitious...
Well, yeah, because this project has been... This started with Iron Man,
Right.
in 2008, and this is supposed to go through, like, 2025 or something like that. And I mean, the fact that this is a series of movies that will come together in a sense that this has never been done before. Like, everybody's seen trilogies or, 4-part series or,
Right, so-
but while these don't go back to back to back, they all link into one another. They're all part of a puzzle that I think the pieces are all going to add up to Avengers 3, and it's going to be Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, it's a given now that it's going to be Infinity Gauntlet.
Right, but it's just...
But
like I said, I'm wondering is that how the storyline really ends? Or is it, the Infinity Gauntlet ends somewhere in the middle, and then there's like another part, and that's how Phase 3 ends? Like, is Phase 3, 1, 2, and 3 all about the Infinity Gauntlet? Or halfway through is when we get the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, and then the second half will be something else?
I don't think you can. I mean, yeah, anything's possible.
Right.
But I think if they were going to do that, they would have put Infinity Gauntlet in Avengers 2.
Right.
Which it's not. It's Age of Ultron.
I
think the internet freaked out when they said it was going to be Age of Ultron for Avengers 2. When they announced it, 2 years ago?
Right.
At Comic-Con, and they brought up the title, people were like, wait, what? No! And that sealed the deal for 3 really being all about the Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos.
And they're changing that storyline too. So
yes.
Ant-Man is actually the one who creates...
Right, and
Ultron.
That is not how Ultron is happening.
Ultron is Jarvis, essentially.
Basically, Stark makes a really fancy version of his suit.
The voice of Ultron is the voice of Jarvis.
Yes, Paul Bettany.
Yes.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
I was so happy that he was, at least in some way, shape, or form, in the movies. It was funny when the first Iron Man came out, they didn't obviously film him doing the voiceover at the same time that Robert Downey Jr. was doing the stuff, and they knew each other before the movies, and then they both were at the premiere, and Robert Downey Jr. was like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And he's like, "What are you doing here?" And Paul Bettany's like, I'm
I
Jarvis."
know this.
And he was like, "No, what?" Like, he put 2 and 2 together. Like, I'm sure he was told at some point who was playing the voice of Jarvis, but I don't think he had connected it. I read that somewhere when Iron Man came out, because I really like Paul Bettany, and I was like, that's a fascinating story of like...
That is pretty funny.
Oh, shit. He was in this movie with me.
Right. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, no, so I think that's going to be great. I'm super excited about... Apparently there are a bunch of... Whenever you see any kind of coming attractions, or you know of like a big main movie that was once a book, or is being remade, you kind of have your iconic scenes, that are filmed.
Yeah.
And, one of them here is going to be Tony Stark putting on the Hulkbuster suit and fighting the Hulk.
Yes.
And apparently, that's going to be an iconic scene.
we've seen the concept art for
right.
it.
But usually there's like 1 or 2 like scenes that you're looking for. Apparently this movie's going to have like 5 or 6.
Well,
like
it's
holy shit moments.
This is Joss Whedon,
right? And
Joss can do no wrong. Actually, he just posted on Twitter a couple of days ago that filming is done, and he posted a picture of himself saying, "Avengers is done. What do I do now?"
Right. Post-production.
It's been sort of consuming his life. Well, he's one of those people who can't ever stop doing. The last time he had a break, he did Much Ado About Nothing in his house in black and white with all of his bestie friends.
Has he been signed on for Avengers 3?
Yeah, I believe so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Because that would be...
That would not make sense.
Right.
No. I don't think they've said anything yet, but I would assume so.
Yeah. Obviously this movie's going to make $1 billion.
$1 bajillion.
Yeah. So that I'm super excited about. What other wonderful things have been going on?
I don't know, man. After seeing Guardians of the Galaxy, I've started reading the comic books.
Mm-hmm. And how you like them?
They're nothing like the movie.
Nothing like the movie.
Not to say that they're not good.
Right.
But
you see Star-Lord's dad in a comic book.
Yeah.
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 Which is like the big mystery in the movie.
I know, and we got out of the movie and I was like, I want to know who his dad is, but I don't want to just Wikipedia it. I want to
my answer
really
was
know it.
Read a comic.
And literally you find out in the very first issue who his dad is. But it seems like they're doing something different
Right.
in the movies because he's, something else. I would assume that in the movie they do the scan at the end and they say, you're only half human and you're half something else that we can't identify.
Right.
I would assume they would be able to identify,
No, they do identify that he's half human.
They identify that he's half human, but they say we can't identify what the other half of you is.
Oh, I could have sworn
Yeah,
they did say that.
no, because they made a big deal about we don't know.
I need to watch that movie again.
They really made a big deal about we don't know. We know that you're half human, but we don't know what the other half of you is.
Can I say, I love buying Blu-ray movies. I love watching. I say I love to watch behind the scenes stuff.
I do.
But I really don't watch them.
I do.
This is going to be an amazing behind the scenes. I'm hoping.
Wait. Okay. So you have to wait and get they'll do a box set for.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem. I'm going to end up buying. I see 3 purchases in my future, which is Guardians of the Galaxy purchased, Phase 1.
We have Phase 1.
No, yes, we do have the Phase 1 box set.
We have the Avengers Assemble box set, Phase 1. It's a really cool briefcase. It's awesome.
Then buy again...
With the Tesseract.
I will then buy again the Phase 2 box set. Even
Yes.
though I have all the other movies, I'll buy the Phase 2 box set.
Do we really have all the other movies?
I'm pretty sure we do.
Okay.
And then Phase 3 will come out. I'll probably buy all those individually. Then I'll end up buying a Phase 3 box set. And then I will get screwed with the $500 or more complete
Marvel,
Phase 1, 2, 3, which comes with an Iron Man suit that really works.
Yeah.
Just something ridiculous.
It will be.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to help yourself. And
No,
you'll be like, I'm taking out a mortgage.
Right.
I'm like, we don't even own a house.
Right. Like a truck backs up and that's how it gets delivered.
Yes.
It'll be ridiculous.
No, it'll probably have an Infinity Gauntlet.
Right. Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. It'll be something ridiculous. Something like astronomical in price. And like most men will, myself and probably other people out there will lie about the price. And be like, no, it wasn't as expensive as you thought it was. It was on sale.
It was on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
No, it was a lie. It was not on sale. I paid full price. But you can't know that.
But it was worth it, right?
It was
in your mind, it was totally worth it.
So worth it. I am homeless.
But it doesn't matter.
Because I will live inside my Phase 1, 2, and 3 box set. I mean, it's going to be pretty big. So I probably could live inside of it.
You could probably live inside the box that it comes in.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
I would be able to live in the box.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Sleep on popcorn. That would be cool.
You mean packing popcorn, not actual popcorn?
Not
this is not movie style theater popcorn.
Actually, now sounds like kind of a fun thing. Somebody out there has slept on a bag of popcorn, and I'm sure they're going to say it is amazing. Yeah. I will.
Be kind of pokey, and you'd want to eat it throughout the night, so your mattress starts to get smaller and smaller as you eat popcorn all night. Yeah, because that would be me. I wouldn't be able to help myself. I would be like, oh, "There's popcorn. I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna continue eating it and continue." Oh shit! I don't have anything to sleep on anymore, guys.
Have you ever seen when they bring in this giant
at the movie theaters, the mega sized bags of popcorn?
Oh my God.
It makes me worried when they do that because God knows how old that popcorn is.
Well, when I was younger. A couple of my friends actually worked for movie theaters.
Yeah.
So they would come home with these mega bags of popcorn.
Like big enough that you can lose yourself inside.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually surprised that we didn't jump into the bag of popcorn.
That would be really fun.
It would be
I would
fun.
do that.
And just eat your way out.
I would do that.
Yeah. So, it was a good old days where, you're...
The good old days.
You're a teenager and your other friends have ridiculous jobs and... I had a friend that worked in the movie theater, brought popcorn. Had a friend that worked at KFC, would come home with buckets of chicken.
You had the right kind of friends.
Oh,
my friends, we just went to the mall and
No.
We went to the movies.
No.
I'm a girl though.
We ate shitty food, and we played weird games.
Yeah.
I was
a girl.
Yeah. Oh.
I was a girl who had girlfriends.
A girl in Virginia, and I was a boy in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah. Kind of different.
A little bit different. Okay, so there's Marvel. The next thing is the DC Universe and what they're attempting to do.
Wait, can I just say for a second that Guardians of the Galaxy could have gone the way of Green Lantern?
Oh, God.
So can we just take a moment?
Yeah, take a moment.
And really appreciate the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy did not go the way
Well, that was the
of
fear.
Avengers.
Because, once again, because it was kind of like the unknown. It could have been...
Yeah, it could have been. Because it didn't take place on Earth.
That's so good and so bad.
Yeah. So, good job, James Gunn. You did a good job writing and directing.
Wow.
Because it could have been awful.
Could have been... Whew.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry, that just kind of blew my mind. I try to forget Green Lantern.
Most people do.
Yeah. Really bad.
Sorry, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Well,
I like you, but...
Pick better parts. Maybe read the script. Don't have someone read it for you. And say, it's a good idea. No, I think he should have... But...
He got to play a superhero. I'm pretty sure it didn't matter.
Yeah, but still. Well, hold on. Speaking of Mr. Reynolds... I am really excited for his next movie. Deadpool.
Wait, what?
What?
I hadn't heard about this.
Okay. I believe, right? I believe he is playing Deadpool in... So you've never read Deadpool?
No, but I've seen him pop up in stuff. Like, he popped up in some X-Men stuff. He popped up in one of those animated series that you were watching Justice League, I think, and I caught a little bit of Deadpool. I'm not a Deadpool person.
I think you would like... So Ryan Reynolds is going to play Deadpool. There's test footage out there that I have seen, people have seen, you have not seen.
No.
You should watch it. It is pretty funny. So...
Well, he is kind of a funny person. He might be able to pull that off.
With this test footage, he's pulled it off.
Oh, okay.
So, Deadpool breaks through the fourth wall.
Yes.
So he knows he's in a comic book. He does all these things. I'm getting a little annoyed because Deadpool is showing up everywhere in comic book covers. Much like there were a million X-Men comic books, and the saturation can just be overwhelming, and you're like, I'm kind of tired of X-Men stuff, if you're that kind of person. The same is with Deadpool. I see all these new comic books, new number 1's this, or number 5 of that, and somehow Deadpool's on the cover of it. Has nothing to do...
Wait, what? This doesn't have anything to do with what's going on.
Right, he's just everywhere. He's on the Guardian of the Galaxy, I believe, number 1. There's a cover with Deadpool on it.
That makes no sense.
Right, so it's just, Deadpool's everywhere. But this test footage of Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool was really good.
All right, so I'm going to have to YouTube that.
Yes. So my one thing is, as much as I have enjoyed some of the Spider-Man comic books, movies, a lot of it is what Peter Parker is thinking, kind of his snide remarks.
Yes.
Which is really picked up in the cartoons. The Spider-Man cartoons did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
In fact, it's kind of hard to have that translate over to the movies.
Yeah, because it's not like he can internally monologue the whole movie.
Right,
Which you can do in a comic book, and you can even do in an animated series, but it's really hard to do in a live action movie.
Okay, they're getting better with it, but that's Deadpool. Deadpool has snarky, just ridiculous remarks throughout the whole thing, and it actually shows up in this test footage.
Okay.
And they do a really good job, and you definitely have to watch it. So, he will make up for his Green Lantern role if this actually goes through. And from what...
So wait, is it a whole movie about Deadpool?
It's going to be a whole movie about Deadpool.
Wow.
And it was funny. You really should. Okay. For people out there, if you haven't... excuse me, if you haven't seen it yet, definitely search the interwebs for the Deadpool test footage.
All right. I'll get on that.
Yeah, great. So, the other thing, which is Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Well, I want to be Wonder Woman.
In real life? Or...
No, I just really like her costume that they put together.
Interesting you say that, because
a lot of people don't like it.
Hate it.
Well, she's too skinny. She needs to eat a sandwich. She officially falls under needs to eat a sandwich. Maybe Photoshopping got a little out of hand, but she needs a sandwich.
Right. Yeah, people are upset about her Xena warrior princess outfit.
But she is a warrior princess.
She is a warrior princess. No, I get it. Do people really want to see, the stars and stripes on her?
No, Because if you remember, or you probably don't because it didn't get off the ground, but they tried to make a Wonder Woman TV show. And they made the costume, and people saw pictures of the costume, and it was like shiny, spandexy, like they did stars and stripes, and they tried to modernize it, but it ended up looking really cheap.
Yeah, it didn't.
And I really think it made sense when the comic books came out, at the time that they came out, when the character was first introduced, that made sense. And it made sense, in the 60s when you had the live-action TV show, or 70s, or whatever it was that it came out. But I think the modern version can't be...
Well...
It can't be comic book bright, because the movie is not comic book bright.
Exactly. I think that's exactly the point. This is going to be a dark movie.
Yeah, so it has to reflect that. I mean, Superman's costume is dark. The Dark Knight's costume is dark. But yeah, I think that her costume is representative of the type of movie that it's going to be.
Right.
Is it iconic the way that, Wonder Woman's costume has been in the past? No, but it looks badass.
Yeah, no, I think it looks great. I'm a fan of it, but obviously people are not. Yeah, but I think I wasn't excited for Batman v Superman.
Why?
Because I think they're going to ruin it. I just think,
okay. I'm like, that makes no sense to me. You love Batman and you love Superman.
Right. But I just feel like, what are they going to do with this movie? DC
is not known for doing very well.
Right, they're not doing very well. Like the Superman remake, with what's his name?
Brandon Routh?
No, the first one.
That was the first one, I thought.
No, it had the guy who I can't remember his name right now. Remember where he was gone and he has a kid? Did you not?
Yes, that was Brandon Routh.
Really?
Yes, who's now going to be on Arrow.
I thought it was Henry...
Cavill is he's the new one.
He's a new one.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
You're getting your actors mixed up.
Yes.
I would know.
The first one was awful.
Yes, I saw that at midnight the day that it opened. And
I
was highly disappointed.
Yeah, it was just horrendous. The last remake, I was happy with. They did a really good job.
It was alright. And I love Superman. Superman is my favorite hero. Or was for a really long time. But I don't know, I thought it was okay. I was glad.
I liked the action scenes. I thought the action scenes were fantastic.
Yeah.
But this one, I think, is gonna... I like the dark tone that they're going with. It's going to be, I believe, set kind of in the future. I don't know, because the storyline seems like it's The Dark Knight Returns, which you have not read. You need to read.
Okay.
Or at least watch the straight-to-DVD release that they have.
Okay.
It is amazing. And if you are one of those lucky people to actually see the leaked footage from San Diego Comic-Con of...
YouTube.
No, it's gone. The YouTube.
They
YouTube
went down?
Yeah, it was up for a day, and then it was taken down. You can still find it out there, I'm sure. I'm sure if you hone in your skills, you can find it. But it was pretty amazing. Like for the fuzzy picture that I saw, but it was cool. Like you see,
you didn't see anything. That you just it was them there, and
the drums beating were kind of cool, like setting the tone. It was really neat. Like I said, if you haven't seen it, you should definitely look it up.
I hope they don't use rain in the whole thing, like Pacific Rim.
But it's gonna be rain. It's
okay. So
it's a dark time. But wait, hold on. Let me just talk about this amazing scene, which was you see Batman wearing this kind of metal suit, which is kind of like the anti-Superman suit. You read the comic. And he turns on the bat signal, and there's like lightning in the background. The camera pans up, and there's the bat symbol, and then it flashes off, and you see Superman inside the bat symbol. Pretty damn badass. Like, that was just amazing. And then you see Superman's eyes start to glow red, and then it pans back to Batman. Now, I couldn't see what he did, but apparently people have described it, and he smirks.
Okay.
And that's how it ends. And just to think that those two are going to go against each other...
I mean, it'll be a really fun battle to watch, and we'll definitely go see it.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to be to the standards of
Yes, this is not going to be Avengers. It's not going to be, but I want to really like it. They've announced so many movies, starting an untitled DC film, August 5th, 2016, with a film coming out. After that, we have 2 movies in 2017, 3 in 2018, 2 in 19, and 3 in 20. Their last one is November 20th, 2020.
I feel like they're a little late to the bandwagon.
Yes. I don't know why I sound like I'm fighting for them. I kind of just want these things to go well. Like, everything's leading up to Justice League.
Yeah, which could be really awesome.
I want it to.
You want it to be really awesome. Well, we won't know until we see Batman v Superman. We really won't know because, that'll be our first taste of how they're going to build this out. I mean, yeah.
See, that's the whole thing.
I'm reserving judgment until I see it.
Right.
My expectations are low.
But if you have this whole thing planned out with, Justice League, which obviously contains Batman, once again, your choice of Batman confuses me.
Yeah.
You're going to 2020.
With Ben Affleck.
I don't understand that.
I like him as a person.
Yeah.
When I look at him, I don't see Batman, though. Maybe I will. Again, I'm gonna go see this movie with really low expectations.
Right. But, and just for those people that don't remember, I'm not saying Ben Affleck's gonna kill this role. I would like him to, But when Heath Ledger was announced that he was playing the Joker, the internet blew up and was like, this is bullshit. Heath Ledger is not the Joker.
And now people wouldn't...
Yes, now people are like, what the hell? Like, how no one else could have played that role.
Exactly.
So, let's there's a little part where I'm going to hope that he
hold on to it.
Everyone wrong.
Okay.
And something amazing will happen. It's probably not going to happen. But still, let's see. But they have a lot of movies coming out. Everything says untitled. So,
which is bothersome because at least with Marvel, you know what's coming. Like, they've let us know what the movies are.
Because Marvel's like, we're badass and we can say all these things. It's going to be Man of Steel 2. It has to be a Justice League. Will there be another Green Lantern? Will there be a Flash movie? Will Wonder Woman get her own movie?
She better.
Another Batman?
Okay. The girl in me says Wonder Woman absolutely has to have her own movie, and that will help me buy in 100% more to the DC thing, because that's the one problem I have with Marvel is that they don't have any female-driven movies. They haven't given any female superhero her own movie. They had the opportunity.
They're getting their own TV shows.
That's not the same. Black Widow would have been an amazing storyline. Amazing.
I don't know. Would it have been too much like a James Bond movie with women?
What? No! She would have been... To see the evolution of her character, to get from where she was as a bad guy to where she was to be on the Avengers.
You want to see an origin story?
Yes!
I want to...
No. I'm saying they had the opportunity during Phase 1, and they didn't take it. And then she shows up in Avengers, and you're like, great, they got Scarlett Johansson to come in. Yeah, good for them. Here's the bone for the ladies out there.
I don't feel like they would have done well. I don't know. I just feel like that wouldn't have been...
So now we have Agent Carter,
mm-hmm.
which is TV, which is coming out this fall, and it has taken them...
This obviously really bothers you.
It does really bother me.
Okay.
I feel like they're not being representative.
Well...
So, Iron Man came out in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Fall 2014 is the first time we're going to have a female lead
in
anything Marvel. And they're relegating it to television, which I really enjoyed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I will continue to enjoy Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it hasn't done that well.
Really?
No. It started really high, mid-season was really low.
That's how I felt about it. I just didn't know if that was like what the masses are saying too. Okay,
and then by the end, it picked back up because it tied in with with Captain America: Winter Soldier,
Right.
and there was the whole Shield Hydra tie-in stuff. But now we have Agent Carter coming out this fall.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Which you're like, whatever. And so people who watch the one shot, because they did the one shot in between where they filmed her, like, anyway. There's that, and then they're also going to do Daredevil.
Yeah.
As TV shows. I'm like, that's great.
I'm gonna
but
disagree.
I need big screen. I want...
I mean,
and she's not a superhero.
If you disagree with the James Bond, you're right. That was the wrong reference. You know what? Nikita. That's what you want to go see. You want to go see Nikita and call it, you know...
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't need it.
You're a jerk.
No, I'm just saying.
You're a jerk.
Just saying. It's Nikita is what you want to go watch.
So the women have to be relegated to be secondary characters.
Oh my God! You are just turning this around into a horrible way. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying...
You're saying they don't deserve their own movies.
I'm saying her character, I do not believe, needed her own movie. I just don't think her character needed a movie. There was nothing like, wow, kind of about it. I would go see a Hawk Girl movie.
Okay.
That I would go see.
Well, I hope that they make a Wonder Woman movie.
No, they're going to definitely make a Wonder Woman movie. I really want to know if they're going... You speak of Justice League, and you have to go to Aquaman. Will Aquaman get his own movie?
Oh, God.
You know, is it based in the San Diego Zoo? What is it?
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to do that.
You know...
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't know.
What happens with that?
I did see a really good Aquaman costume picture from Comic-Con, though.
Right.
Someone did a good Aquaman, which it's hard to do.
For the most... okay, what Aquaman was he? Was he old school Aquaman? Was he like the newer Aquaman who has a hook for a hand?
No, he was old school.
See, I feel like with that, you just point and laugh at him. Was he walking around with, like, goldfish or something? Because that's what he should have had some kind of fish tank with him.
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. No, Aquaman is ridiculous.
Yes, I will agree.
You know, will we see the Wonder Twins?
All I can think about is Family Guy.
Well, see, I feel like Wonder Twins... I wanted the Wonder Twins will show up, and I think that they're ridiculous, too, because the girl... Here you go. You want to talk about kick-ass girls? Out of the Wonder Twins, which I don't know, did you ever see the Wonder Twins? The Wonder Twins were...
I'm a baby.
Yes. In the 80s? God, really? 80s? 80s. You would wake up Saturday morning, you would watch the Wonder Twins, or the Justice League. The Wonder Twins were in it, and they had a monkey as their sidekick. But the girl was like the badass one, from what I remember. She like transformed into something. So they both had purple suits.
Yes.
And they said Wonder Twin powers activate. And that would actually, we should dress like that one day. It would be hilarious. And they tapped their rings together, and I swear she'd be like, you know, form up like a dragon, and she was awesome. And he always formed like a bucket of water. He was kind of just like a complete waste. All he ever was water. Maybe I'm remembering it incorrectly, but every time it's like, I'll form tidal wave, and it's like, you're a fucking tidal wave, dude. Like, okay, or I'm a bucket of water. It's like, no one cares. She's a dragon. You are a bucket of water. So, will the Wonder Twins kind of
I would say probably not.
Right, but if you're going to make an Aquaman movie... so, you never watched Entourage. Great TV show.
Okay.
They're making a movie. I think the movie's made. I think they just have to finalize things. But in that TV show, there was a whole season or so where he was cast to play Aquaman. And that was the only time I was like, wow, like the way they talked about the movie, I was like, that would actually be pretty badass if this was a real movie.
Do you think they'll take inspiration from another TV show?
No, I just think they're going to ruin it. I don't know. They
haven't even said that they would make an Aquaman movie yet.
Right, but if you're talking Justice League, you got to talk Aquaman. But you can't use old school Aquaman. It has to be kind of like new school. They have to take Thor, essentially, and put him in the water and give him a hook hand or something.
Okay.
Like he has to be kind of badass.
All right.
Not puny Aquaman who's riding on top of fish to get somewhere.
I still think that's kind of cool, though.
Sure.
Depends on what the fish is, but yeah.
Right. I don't know. But we'll see. Like I said, it's going to be interesting. Now with the whole Batman v Superman, it was set to come out the same day as Captain America 3, which was May 6, 2016. But
I like how we're talking about the future like it's going to be tomorrow.
I know.
It's like 2 years from now.
Well, this is like the big thing. But it's like kind of, to me, it's interesting because I was looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. I mean, I would have
box
had to
office
choose.
wise.
Right. How would I have chosen? I mean, I would have seen both of them that day, but which one would I have seen first?
You would have seen Captain America first.
You say that.
I would have seen Captain America
I didn't
first.
care about the first Captain America.
I enjoyed it. The second one was fantastic.
The second one was phenomenal. The first one, not great to me.
It's because it was a period piece.
It was an origin story, and I didn't care. I really don't care about origin stories.
Well, it was a period piece.
So, not a fan of it. 2,
Whereas
fantastic.
I like that sort of thing.
Right. 3, I don't know. If 2 was so good, how was 3 going to be? But it was going against Batman v Superman. There was a chance that I might have wanted to go see Batman v Superman.
You probably would have.
Yeah, first. I would have seen that first. But now they moved up a couple of months. Now instead of May 6th going against Captain America 3, now they're March 25th.
That's a really early release for a summer blockbuster. Like, it's not a summer release anymore. It's like when Captain America came out.
Right.
Because Captain America came out in February this past year. God, was it just this past year? Yeah, it was.
But, now they have a few weeks to kind of eat up the box office. And
They'll get some good returns. That's probably why they moved it up.
yeah, they have to, because there was no way they were going to beat.
Yeah. No.
No. But I would like to see the day where we see a DC movie go against a Marvel movie. And see
The
what
ultimate
happens.
showdown.
Right.
DC versus Marvel.
Yeah.
Who will win?
It's going to be the whole Star Trek, Star Wars.
Yeah. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Where you can imagine if they'll move 2 of those movies.
Except they can't do that because JJ directed both of them.
Right.
So,
Well,
either way, JJ wins.
He's not doing the third one. He's not doing
Oh,
the third
okay.
one. Everything now is
That would be him competing against himself,
him competing
which would
against
be really stupid.
yeah, but the audience would just...
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm really interested. I'm excited. Hopefully it's going to be good. I don't know anything about Cap 3. We'll see how that's going to be.
We'll see. I'm sure it's going to be great.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, we could talk about this all day, because there's so much to talk about, because the expanse of information and movies and source material and comic books and, rumors on the internet are never ending.
Never ending. But once again, if you've sat through this whole thing and have not seen Guardians of the Galaxy,
Go see it right
Go
now.
see it.
Leave your house. Leave your work. You're listening to this on the train. Get off the train. Go to the movie theater right now. Go see it.
yes. Quit your job.
See Guardians of the Galaxy.
Go see Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. So anyway, until next time, everybody, stay nerdy.
Thanks for listening.